Welcome, and guys, I am Victoria James. I am your podcast princess, and this is Just a Girl with a Voice. This week, we have an exciting topic. We're talking about forgiveness. I know a lot of you may struggle with this. I myself have struggled with this for a while, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. Today I'm just going to lay this all out for you guys, and I'm just going to help this make a little bit more sense and have you guys look at it in a different perspective that maybe you haven't before. And so let's just dive right in. Now, for me, when I think about forgiveness, in every sense of the word, I immediately go to my faith, my Christianity. And I know what they say about it in the Bible. I know that they say that you have to forgive others to be forgiven yourself. I know that they say that you're supposed to forgive 70 times 7. But my thing is this. Sometimes it's hard to move past that and navigate and try and forget, because does that actually encompass? Does forgiveness mean that you're supposed to just forget about who's wronged you in life, that you're just supposed to wipe the slate clean and just let the person have a free-for-all with your feelings? Is that what that is? And better yet, how do you forgive somebody who isn't truly even sorry? I mean, have you thought about that concept? There are people out here that are doing things and intentionally or maybe unintentionally, and they don't have a second thought about it. They don't have a second thought about how that may have hurt you or how you may be suffering on the opposite end of their actions. So I think the first thing that you have to do when it comes to forgiving somebody who isn't sorry is shifting your focus from the other person's behavior to yours, your own emotional well-being. You try and acknowledge your process and emotions, understanding your feelings and recognizing them. Don't suppress your emotions and take responsibility for your feelings. Then shifting the focus to yourself, reframing forgiveness as a gift to yourself. That's beautiful. Focusing on healing and moving on and practicing that self-compassion. You want to understand the other person's perspective, even if you don't agree with it. Try seeing it from their side, considering their potential challenges. Maybe they're having an off day and it has nothing to do with you, because that's very possible. You want to let go of the resentment and the bitterness and find a healthy way to express it, practicing mindfulness or even forgiving yourself, because I know for me, sometimes that's hard. If I know and I have an inkling that I may have hurt someone, I sit back and I reflect on my decisions a lot. And we do this game where we're like, I wish I would have did that differently, and dang, if I had just said that instead of that, and we can get caught up in the past a lot, right? And it's like you beat yourself up, and it's okay to just forgive yourself and give yourself grace, because nobody on this God green's earth is perfect. Nobody is. And then two, considering boundaries and self-protection. Setting those boundaries and protecting your emotional well-being is a very pivotal point in the journey. Remember, forgiveness is a process. It's not instantaneous, and it's okay to feel mixed emotions and be patient with yourself while feeling those. Okay, so some of the benefits of forgiving are reduce stress, anxiety, the depression, the anger. It improves sleep and it boosts your immune system. It fosters healing and allows personal growth, and it can even improve cardiovascular health. So holding on to like your anger and resentment, it leads to chronic stress, and forgiveness helps relieve this. It promotes a sense of calm. if you will. It's linked to lower levels of depression and anxiety due to pent-up negative emotions that you may be having. It also contributes to your overall well-being of happiness. And who doesn't want to be happy? Forgiveness can empower individuals to take control of one's own emotions and break that victim mentality. Now, I don't know if you know anybody that has that victim mentality, but I know quite a few people. And I know just dealing with people that have that can be very draining. The woe is me, right? It can build resilience, and it can make more of a positive outlook on life. I mean, who doesn't want to wake up and feel like today's going to be a good day? Like, I don't know anybody that wants to wake up and say, today's going to be a jacked up day, and I'm just going to make it my business to make sure that's the case. Some of the more physical benefits are the lower blood pressure, like I said, the better sleep. Stress impacts the immune system. Forgiveness helps to improve immune function. It also lowers risk of the heart attack. The cardiovascular health goes back to that. It improves your cholesterol levels, and it can reduce chronic pain, right? Forgiveness really does a lot for you. And just being in a peaceful mental state does wonders for your body. You know, I used to think it was like just not even a thing when you would see like on the TV shows when like people will be in comas and they're like, talk to them, they can hear you, like you know, they pull strength from you. And I was just like, they can't hear anything, they're not, you know, they're not there, they are somewhere in la la land, and this is not helping them. But as I grew and as I started to learn more about it, and now I am currently studying to be a nurse, and I'm hoping that one day I can make an impact in the medical world, right? And so it's like the more I'm researching and learning, the more I'm understanding that mental health, that is everything. And I guess that's probably why I'm so passionate about it, because I understand that so many things can be a domino effect. Just because you wake up and you feel bad and you're having a bad day, all of that can just stem from you, you know, staying sick and, you know, being sick for longer than you should be. Your body not healing the way that it knows how to properly, right, in a timely manner. Because all of this works in tandem. And I don't think that we realize like how deep it really goes. Then you have the relationship aspect of it, the benefits that come from that forgiving, the personal growth, because it encourages empathy, compassion, and understanding, reduce substance abuse, greater life satisfaction, and restoration and healing. All good things. So why is forgiveness so powerful? Because it frees the individual who forgives and the person being forgiven. It allows one to break free from anger and resentment and bitterness, all bad feelings that nobody wants to feel, right? It allows you to have emotional freedom, because holding on can be very emotionally draining and keep individuals stuck in the past. Imagine freeing up that space and energy and being able to move forward in life. It improves your relationships, right? So forgiveness creates that environment of healing and reconciliation. It allows for the rebuilding of trust and understanding. It blooms empathy, compassion, and better communication. And the end result is a stronger and more fulfilling relationship. And then, of course, there's the spiritual growth that comes with it. So, we're going to talk about the 4 stages of above the line forgiveness. Now, this model was inspired by Lewis Smedes' book, Forgive and Forget. Okay? There are 4 stages according to him. of forgiveness. There's hate, hurt, heal, and come together. And a lot of these I completely agree with. Now, some of these, I'm kind of side-eyeing, but, if it's not, if it works, it works. So the first segment of hate, according to him, to hate is to have an intense or passionate dislike of a person or a situation. Well, that's just a definition. Okay. This is a necessary step. Give yourself time to have that intense reaction to which some just call anger, right? So the number one mistake that most people make is not giving themselves time and space to be angry. Now, I can agree with this, especially if you're a person that likes to bottle up your emotions. For me, I'm still working on it. I'm a work in progress, but that is me. I'll let things kind of, tack on until I feel like my back is being weighed down, and I'm like, I'm going to spaz out any minute of the day at this point, because the strong can't be strong forever, right? So skipping over that anger and expressing it, to not release and let go, genuine forgiveness is impossible, according to him. And I don't know, I agree with that segment. I tell my kids all the time, like when they get upset, I say, it's okay to feel it in the moment, scream in your pillow, run around the house. I don't care. Do what you got to do. But in that moment of anger and rage that you're taking it out on whatever, understand that I'm not going to let you stay there forever. So feel it and move forward. That's always been like my motto. So the number 2 stage of forgiveness is hurt. So there is no path to forgiveness that does not take us through the dark woods of a broken heart. Okay. So when the hatred fizzles out, what comes next? The ouch. Now I love how they put this. Okay. The ouch. It's okay to say that aloud when you're hurt. It's okay to just say, ouch. And even, I think I might even adapt this in my own life, because a lot of the times we try and just grace over what it is that has been done to us, or that, may hurt. And we try and just say, oh, it's no big deal. It's cool. It's cool. No, I mean, it's not really your truth, because that thing that person did, it actually really hurt your feelings. And you may have felt that physically as well as emotionally. You may have felt that physically. You may have felt your heart just feel like it wanted to sink. Or, have you ever felt that, like when you've just been in such a deep pain and your heart feels like it's throbbing? I know I've been there on several occasions, right? Instead of pushing past it and saying that it's strength and deflecting, how about staying in that moment for a second and realizing that hurt you, and saying ouch. So for example, you can say something like, ouch, Mom. It hurts that you didn't ever see me the way I needed you to see me, right? And sit with it. Or you can say something like, ouch. It hurts that you chose not to believe me when I was telling you the truth about what happened. Being human is having the ouches, and forgiving is feeling them. To forgive and to be fully released and free, it requires that we go all the way into the hurt and the emptiness. Only when you can allow your heart to break will you enter into the 3rd stage of forgiveness. And that 3rd stage is healing, right? So healing is about seeing reality clearly. This stage kind of makes me think of a story in the Bible. Maybe some of you may know. the story of Joseph. For those of you that don't, I'll give you a quick rundown. So Joseph was hated by his brothers because of his father's favor, basically. They were jealous. So as a result, they plotted to kill him by throwing him down a well and leaving him for dead. They took his coat as a souvenir back to his father, and they announced his death. Only Joseph wasn't dead. He was actually sold into slavery in Egypt, and he rose to be an important man, like second in charge in Egypt. And so a famine hits the land, and Joseph's brothers go to Egypt looking for food. Now, as they appear before Joseph, they're terrified at the thought that he still is holding this grudge, right, against them for the betrayal. And they're offering up their services and saying that they'll be slaves to Joseph. And he replies, and I love this, he says, "What you intended for evil, God intended for good, so that a day would come like this where I would be in a position like this." So the takeaway from this is that Joseph is seeing reality, the bigger picture. Something is working through that betrayal to create the possibility of something greater, something only possible because of the offense. Healing occurs when we can flip our beliefs about reality. Healing occurs when we can see others from a perspective of compassion and empathy. They did what they did because at a very deep level, they're ignorant. They didn't know that what they were doing was going to lead to the consequence of hurting us. But when we choose to heal, we desire for those that hurt us to be healed as well. Which leads me into the last little bit, which is coming together. So we are often still in relationships with those who have hurt us. And it could be the mention of their name, a memory of time being spent together, a song, or a certain smell that brings us right back to that moment and to that offense all over again. Always with them, but never coming together. Coming together doesn't always mean physically coming together or spending time with them. It can, but it doesn't always. After we do the work in forgiveness, we are able to come together. We have released them, the situation, and ourselves. We have set them free, and we are set free so we can remember. And we can have well wishes for them and only love. Keyword, love.
Artlist
And now we're
IO.
coming to a segment I like to call Inspiration. Okay, so I love this quote. It says, "To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you," by Lewis B. Smedes. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in this week for this episode, Forgiveness. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, or you guys want me to cover a certain topic, you can reach out at justagirlwithavoice1@gmail.com. Again, that's justagirlwithavoice1@gmail.com. Also, as well, don't forget to subscribe to Spotify. New episodes drop each week, Thursday at 2. Today, obviously, I'm a little late, but any updates on, speaking of which, any updates on me being tardy or late for an episode, you will find on our Facebook page at Just a Girl with a Voice 1. Follow us there as well as Instagram at Just a Girl with a Voice 1. You guys have been awesome. And I'm looking forward to, you guys tuning in next week. So I'm out of here. Peace.
Artlist IO. Music licensing reimagined.